I'm Brendan, a security engineer at Interpres. Interpres is a threat exposure management platform that analyzes the threat landscape to determine which threats are most relevant to you. This is the main view within Interpres. From here, you can efficiently gain an understanding of your defensive posture, identify gaps, and dive deep to respond to them. Let's break down the components of this dashboard. Exposure score is a holistic assessment of your environment and is derived from your threat exposure, defense surface, and fleet exposure. Exposure score measures and tracks the efficacy of your defense posture relative to your threat profile. Threat exposure represents the threat landscape relevant to your threat profile. This includes MITRE TTPs, attacker software, threat actors, and ongoing campaigns. Defense surface measures your controls, telemetry, and detection posture as reported by your integrated security tools. Fleet exposure details your asset inventory, as well as the volume and severity of vulnerabilities affecting those assets. Within the threats column, we can see prioritized elements of threat, along with a content figure, which details the current level of capability you have relative to this particular threat. The defense surface column shows your detections and visibility provided by each of your integrated security tools, as well as how many of each are currently enabled or disabled. The vulnerabilities column shows 3 lenses through which to evaluate your vulnerability posture, including assets with known exploited vulnerabilities, or assets affected by vulnerabilities that are known to be exploited in the wild, vulnerabilities that are being used in currently active campaigns, and how many assets are affected by those vulnerabilities, as well as recent campaigns that are relevant to your threat profile that leverage vulnerabilities. The prioritized technique content heat map shows your current level of coverage for individual MITRE techniques. The techniques themselves are grouped by the MITRE tactic that they fall under, and the boxes representing them are sized by the priority of that technique. The activity feed shows a running log of internal and external changes that affect your overall exposure score. Internal changes may be losses in visibility, disabled detections, or newly identified vulnerabilities. External changes, like new threats, new vulnerabilities, or relevant campaigns, will be shown here as well. This is the report generation tool. By using this, you can export any of the underlying data within the Interpres platform to a pre-formatted report. You can also tailor this report by including or excluding specific sections. The score trend graph shows the underlying numerical scores as well as your overall exposure score and tracks changes over time. That's a look at the Interpres CISO dashboard. If you want to learn more, visit us at interpressecurity.com/demo to take a test drive.